Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Hey, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. Ooh, it's a little cold here this morning. I got my sweater on because it's a little bit chilly. It's still a beautiful day, but like you know me. I can't even fake it. I'm not exactly happy about the cold weather, but whatever, at least we get to see the blue skies, right? The blue skies are out. My cows are loving it. So I don't know if you haven't been watching the show that long, maybe you're new here, but I have 5 head of Scottish Highlanders. And I've had Highlanders for, I don't know, probably 7 years now, I guess. And, we've gone up in numbers and down in numbers as we give them away to other people to take care of. But we got about 5 head right now, and they love it. In fact, one of my Highlanders, who we call Brownie, she's really just a beautiful color. When it snowed, she was just throwing the snow up in the air. And I wish I had gotten some video of it because it's one of my joys. But at this point, it's like one of my only. That brings me happiness with the snow I'm talking about specifically, right? It's like I just don't like the snow. I don't like the cold anymore. I don't know if it's just getting old or what. I'm just done with it. But it is one of the pleasures that I get out of the snow is watching my Scottish Highlanders playing it, because they do love it. And so they've been really not very grumpy. They haven't been causing a lot of problems lately. They've been just chilling out, loving the cold weather. So that's a good thing. My kitties, on the other hand, are not so happy with the wind. We had wind yesterday. So they're not so happy with that, hiding in the barn and being all weird. But you know how I love kitties. And so, I don't even really have to say anything about this. I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Look at this kitty. Look at this. This is important now. What a beautiful kitty, right? What a beautiful kitty. Black and white. If you're only listening, I would say take a peek, because this particular tweet, this particular kitty got 927,000 views. So, getting close to 1 million views there. And he's just a very special kitty. Isn't it just sad that this is the state of our world? Just the disclaimer here on this little kitty picture says, I am not suicidal. And this tweet is from Vance Murphy. It's like a running, it's a running, I don't know what to call it. It's not a joke, right? It's not really a joke. It's kind of a joke. We all kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, laugh, haha. But really, it's not that funny. It's not that funny that if we're helping people and we're making a difference in people's lives and we're connecting people outside of the pharmaceutical model to real solutions for health, that, we have to be afraid for our lives. I mean, that's the country we live in right now. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad that we have to tiptoe around that. We all know, we all know. I talk to people every day. They tell me, I know these drugs aren't good for me. I know these things aren't good for me. I really want to get out of this system. I want to get off of these drugs. That's what I do. I listen to people every day talk about that. So we all know. It's a open secret, right? So it's interesting because, we feel like we live in a free country, right? Are we free? We have a certain amount of freedom within a certain amount of boundary, right? You can't cross outside that boundary, because if you do, yikes, right? I don't even want to read that tweet. I just want to share it with you. It's just such a bizarre thing. We all know, and we have so many numbers that know about so many things, we know about corruption. We know stuff goes on that, is conspiratorial. We all know. Yet it's never really addressed. And then we think we're going to vote somebody in who is going to really clean up the swamp and yet, it's not quite happening either, is it? And I'm not blaming anybody. It's an infrastructure that has been in place for decades. And it's a business. It's a corporation. There's a lot of negotiating that has to go on. And if you don't negotiate in the right way, you might not ever be able to negotiate again, I guess we could say. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. I have got a great show for you. I want to talk about something very interesting. I've brought this up a couple of times on the show before, but I think we're getting closer to it now. And I wish we were having a national conversation about it. I wish we were. It doesn't appear like we free people are going to have any say in the developments in the very near future. So I want to share this clip with you. This is Elon Musk talking about just the state of our society. Take a listen.
You did something extremely ordinary, like go to Target or CVS.
I can't go to things where there's the general public because there's an immediate "can I have a selfie" line that forms, and these days, particularly in light of Charlie Kirk's murder, there are serious security issues. It's not that I don't want to; I simply can't.
Has Charlie's murder changed how you do things? Or were you already locked down pretty well before that?
It certainly reinforced the severity of the situation where life is on hardcore mode. You make one mistake and you're dead. It only takes one mistake.
These changes are happening so quickly, that it kind of makes you feel like, wow, how did we get here, right? Because things are really escalating. Of course, we're seeing historically, we've seen assassinations, right? I mean, they're not new. But it seems like it's being, the dial's being turned up, media personalities especially have, everybody kind of pulled back, right? I was listening to Candace Owens and Russell Brand's discussion on Russell Brand's podcast, part of it. And they were talking about how after Charlie Kirk's assassination, it wasn't just a death, he was murdered, that everybody in the public sphere really pulled back and was like, wow, this is very jarring, right? Very scary. And of course, we're seeing Tim Pool, melt down about security and, expressing how his security detail now has become so expensive. I mean, I just can't imagine, like, Tim Pool gets so many views. I can't imagine that he's not making money. But he did explain that he's at a point now where he's losing money because he has to pay for security detail and security to follow his wife to the grocery store and security going everywhere. So my point is that it's changing, and I always got to question this stuff. Like, how is it? Is it because we're thinking about it, that we're going to have increased security in the future, that the world is very unsafe, and so we're creating more of a situation and a culture that, wants to live, just more locked down and enslaved. I mean, this really, really aligns. It really aligns with the plan for the future in terms of like 15-minute cities and digital everything. Like, you see what I'm saying here? Like, the problem is being fed and the solution will be rolled out for the problem. So, we've got an infiltration of Muslims in the country who are not, it's not conducive with Western life. I just viewed a video earlier today where a Muslim man was just filming women on the street, just filming women and following them in America, and just being really creepy. And nobody was intervening in that scenario, and he was just screaming at them, telling them, "This is a public place. This is a public place. Like, I can film. And but like he was like filming their bodies, and I don't think that's gonna fly, So it's going to become a conflict, which will create more of the energy around it's not safe. It's not safe. And I just like, there's an easy way to fix this. But my concern is that the easy way to fix it won't be, rounding up criminals and, taking people who don't understand the culture out of the country. That won't be the solution. The solution will be digital mass surveillance, making it more safe for citizens here. At what cost? Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you still on Facebook? Are people still on Facebook? Word on the street is there are still people on Facebook. We do have a Naturally Inspired Radio Facebook page. If you would head over there anytime in the near future, if you do still get on there, we'd love it if you would follow us. Give us a follow, a like, maybe comment on something or share it with a friend. What we do here at Naturally Inspired is we connect people to real solutions for health. So if that seems like, interesting stuff to you, and you think somebody might be able to benefit from it, share it with them on Facebook. So we are Naturally Inspired Radio on Facebook. Follow us, comment, like, whatever. I know they hate me on Facebook, but we persist. We persist. Oh boy. So very interesting topic here. Like it kind of freaks me out, I'm going to admit. But it's all been kind of lining up to this. And what I mean by that is, like I always say, right, like a lot of people are living through the portal being your phone. A lot of people are living virtually, right? We have seen the implementation of like social media platforms that allow you to use tools, to use filters. Now we have AI software that you can build a likeness of yourself, right? You build an avatar, a likeness of yourself. It's not you, it's a likeness of you. And you can use that to post and create content. And, so there's already this kind of synthetic living going on. And then we have the whole issue of like, I guess, enticement, with the whole materialism thing where you can like rent out a jet for 15 minutes, take a bunch of selfies, what have you. And then they use that for content. So you can like, exude this luxurious lifestyle online. I guess what I'm saying is it's fake. It's fake, right? And then to add another layer on to kind of the fakeness and, not really, authentic is we have this augmentation, this physical, medical augmentation going on, right? People are now shaving, they shave down their cheekbones. I mean, the procedures are endless, right? The filler, the Botox, all the stuff, right? Like, and it's just like, this is all very reflective of our society. Why are we so unhappy with our authentic selves? Like, what's going on with the fakeness? It's just a symptom. It's a symptom of, gosh, I hate to even say this because it sounds so negative, but like a very sick society. It's not a confident, mentally well society. We're getting worth from things that are very superficial. And we're putting a lot of value on things that are very superficial. And then we are not putting the right value on things that really do matter. A heartbreaking video I saw today of a mom of two twins. I think they were maybe 6 weeks old. And, it's so bizarre. I don't know what to think of a lot of these videos because who the heck sets up a camera and films themselves crying? It's very strange. I don't know if it's just me, but it's so weird. I can't imagine, if I'm upset enough to cry, I don't have time to set up my camera to film it. I really don't, I just kind of live in the moment. But this is just something it's hard to understand, right? But a lot of these people have grown up with technology and it's like part of them. And so they live through it. It's like a filter that they live through, the portal. And so they record all this stuff. And today I saw a video of a young mom who's 6-week-old twins and time to go back to work. Time to go back to work, right? So she's bawling, holding her twins and is expressing to the camera, like, why is this what we have to do? You don't. You actually don't have to do that. But you're going to have to wrestle with some values, right? Because the societal standard is, well, we've got to have a nice house in a subdivision. We've got to have 2 cars. And, in Colorado, house prices here now are insane. Like you can't really get anything, under 500, which is probably, some people listening to this probably go, that's cheap, but maybe around 300 or something, but it's probably not going to be the iconic, like, this is what I need for Instagram ready content. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a bit of a fixer upper, I guess is what I'm saying. But, so yeah, like the standard of what people think they need is a problem. Right? And then where they're putting their values, the weight of their values is an issue. So society says, well, you got to have a nice house in a subdivision and 2 cars and, you got to pay insurance and you got to do all these things and blah, 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 blah. But you have to give your babies to essentially a stranger in some daycare and leave them for 40 plus hours a week. Not going to happen on my watch. Sorry. Just couldn't do it. I mean, thank God I have a husband that supported that decision and we were in it together to work through it. It wasn't easy. We didn't have 2 cars all the time. It was not easy. There was things that we had to forego, but you know what? Looking back on it now, like I don't even remember what I had to give up. Who cares? Because I can look at my 2 children who are now 20 and 22, and this is a tough time when they're growing up and starting their own lives and all that stuff. But when I look at them, I absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt that I spent the maximum amount of time I could when they were little and as they grew up. There's really no more time I think I could have spent with them. So There are no regrets. And I cannot tell you what I gave up for that. I mean, I know we only had one car, not a great car at times. There's definitely very lean years and whatnot, but I can't even name anything. So if there's young mothers out there that are struggling with that, listen, it can be done. You may not have the Instagram reel ready home to shoot your decor and your holiday photos and all that stuff. But you're not going to remember that, and you're not going to care. So follow your heart when it comes to that kind of stuff. Cause it's just, it makes all the difference in the world. It really, really does. It makes all the difference in the world. So, but this fake kind of society that we're living in, I believe it's primed us for what's coming. It's been kind of a slow roll, right? I mean, a slow roll into the acceptance. Like, I'm still struggling with the AI videos. Are you? Like, excuse me, Becky, I saw you the other day. You're not really looking like you do in your AI videos, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Like, am I the only one struggling with this? I'm just really struggling. I'm like, what is happening here? What are we doing? You can't show up in your real person on your own social media page with the 300, 500 friends that you have that know you. You've got to show up in a different form on your social media pages. Like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. And I have to think, well, this is priming. And what's it priming for? I think it might be priming for this. Watch this clip.
Imagine a world where you can be anyone, go anywhere, do anything. Robotic human surrogates combine the durability of a machine with the grace and beauty of the human body. With most people living their lives through their surrogate selves, our world has become a safer place. Take a seat in your STEM chair, and just with the power of your mind, you can control your surrogate and send it out into the real world. You can finally live the life you've always dreamt of, without any risk or danger to yourself.
We are confronted with an unprecedented situation. 2 people have died while connected to their surrogates. I think we may actually have a homicide here. First one in years. The public cannot be allowed to get the idea that using a surrogate can be fatal. Especially if it's true. I just want to know how an operator can be killed by signals from a surrogate.
Surrogates have been blown to bits without the least bit of harm to their operators. If it were possible, it would defeat the entire purpose of surrogacy.
That's a movie, and I've mentioned it here on the show a few times. It's called Surrogates, and that's, of course, Bruce Willis. It was made back in 2009. And I don't know why that movie stuck with me, because it was kind of a nothing burger movie, if I remember right. Like, it didn't make a huge splash or anything, but for some reason, that movie really stuck with me. And from the trailer, if you don't get the whole premise, essentially what's going on here in this movie is that you live in a STEM chair, where you plug in to the virtual reality, and you are hooked up, you are connected to a robot that is your surrogate, that actually you can see through its eyes virtually and all of that, and you live through the surrogate. Because the world is too dangerous. The world is too dangerous for you to go outside in your human body. And so you have to have a surrogate, and you must stay indoors and stay safe. And so, the plot thickens or whatever, and, the machines take over, essentially. And so that part of it, I don't know. But certainly the premise is interesting, right? Because we're kind of already doing that. When we're showing up online, on social media, creating avatars for ourselves. We're just months away now for these AI avatars that are going to do all our dealings for us, virtually, like a chat bot or whatever, who can book a flight for you, who can, do things online, pay your bills or what have you. That's interesting, but it's not going to stop there. It's not going to stop there. And again, you guys, no discussion. Like, this is going to, the discussions we get are podcasts from like tech guys that are telling you super excited about what they're doing, how they're going to essentially solve death and solve sleep. Well, this might be how they're going to do that. Your avatar, your robot probably doesn't have to sleep. I don't know, but it's wild to me that we are not having like a national discussion about this and, what's to come. We're just letting innovation go. And in fact, less regulation is happening in the AI world. Less. They're taking the reins off even more. And nobody's talking about the fallout or how this is going to change our world. Like, no consent. It's bizarre. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio, and I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. I'm so glad you are here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations? Much of it being imported or processed with additives. Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. Maybe you don't have time to sit with me for an hour, half hour, do an assessment. I totally get it. Maybe you're already well on your way, but you just need a few tools. Well, you can pick your protocol at naturallyinspiredstore.com. There's a great little tool here, tab rather, that says pick your protocol. When you click on it, it'll take you to some of my most used protocols, right? So people that need energy, people that are looking to restore clarity and brain power, being able to focus better. Hair and beauty is a big one. Inner peace, if you're dealing with stress. My goodness, the world is changing so fast. Of course, we're all dealing with stress. Everybody needs to be on supplementation, I feel like, for stress, given the times that we are living in. Also, if you have insulin issues, we talk about insulin resistance a lot on the show. We're going to talk about it again today. Why? Because it is so important. And I'm going to actually show you some experts who are talking about that, are in the space, and they're focusing on insulin and focusing on metabolic health. It is the future. You're going to hear metabolic health a lot. So take care of yours today. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and purchase one of our protocols. That'll get you into the Naturally Inspired community, where you'll get one-on-one support from me through my health text line, weekly wellness workshops, workshops, and so much more. naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, so I've been talking about this, this week quite a bit about, with the mega churches, with politics, with left and right. And it's really glaring me in the face now. It's like this, I need to say this and make this point. All of these, institutions, they're now working really hard to entertain you. There's drama in politics constantly. It's this influencer versus that influencer. It's this podcast against that podcast. It's you don't love Trump. You don't support Trump. You're not MAGA. You are MAGA. You're the left. You're totally crazy. It's all about entertainment. And the reason why it's all about entertainment is because when you are entertained, you're not focused on being informed. You're not focused on, what really matters. You're not focused on the values that you need to hold to get the results that you want in your own life. You're entertained, right? I talk about the subconscious brain and the conscious brain all the time. Subconscious brain, that's a part, that beats your heart. It keeps you breathing. It's the autopilot, right? The subconscious mind. And the conscious mind, they call the monkey brain, right? When the conscious mind is the part that, gets things done during the day. You're busy doing things, you think about it, you execute, you're entertained. When your conscious mind is entertained, then you're preoccupied and you're so knee deep into the entertainment. You're following the plot line, you're following this, and you're not concerned about the truth, maybe, I saw a wild video today and I'll probably bring it tomorrow. But I haven't been to a church, sit in a chair church, for a very long time. And certainly, I haven't been to a service like that, like I saw today ever. I've been covering the business of religion, recently, and this video shocked me, and I should have brought it today, but I'll bring it tomorrow. And the level of entertainment that is going on here. I mean, we're talking about flying elves, full on concert level production band, pyrotechnics, and literally flying elves, like flying Christmas elves on wires over the audience and whatnot. And then I saw another one when I was looking into it. It's like this massive laser show. And this is not church. And again, you're in the chair to be entertained. And there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes, as we discovered, And if you're not, involved, if we're not involved in taking ownership of these communities that we're a part of, where we're actually understanding what's happening within these communities and we're making real connections with real people, then you're being entertained. And the question is, why the big push to entertain? That's the question, right? So I don't know. It's I know everybody says everything's fake and gay, but really, why is everything being pushed towards fakeness and just this kind of emptiness of just be entertained? It's the same thing with food. We're using food as entertainment these days instead of nourishment. You need to nourish your body, but often we look at food as a means of entertainment. So if you think the robots aren't real, I want to share this with you from a 2025 expo. Just a local news a local TV news outlet covered this story. So just take a peek at this. Do we not have the video?
This one definitely caught
there we
my
go.
eye. A human-looking robot. This one's named Aria, and you can see their eyes and face actually follow me, and when I smile, Aria smiles as well. They can also talk to you. This is a full-body human-like robot named Melody. Hi, Melody. Welcome to Las Vegas.
I'm Melody, your charming companion at the Realbotics booth. What brings you to our little corner of CES 2025?
Now, I think that those are actually a lower model of what's available. I think. I mean, it's so hard to tell, right? With what's AI online and what's not. But some of the other prototypes that I've seen are even more lifelike, and they're certainly starting to get the movement down in these robots. My question is, like, why are we making robots that look like humans? I find that so strange. You know, it's a psychological play to do that, because when you interact with these robots, they're going to appear like another human, and your brain is going to see them in the light of being another human. So you are going to treat them like humans. They're machines. And so, like, why don't they just look like machines? Why are we making things in our image? Like, it's really weird, right? It's really weird. It's almost like, you know, we're trying to play God here. We're making things in our own image. And it's just like, I guess, you know, if it was a machine, more of a machine, and our body identified it as hardware and a tool, then there wouldn't be this weird element to it. You know, there's a city close to us here in northern Colorado, Fort Collins, that I've just been made aware that they are actually going to start using drones to monitor people when they come out of bars. So they'll have these drones that actually follow people back to their vehicles to monitor them. If they suspect them, they'll take video. They'll suspect them of drinking and driving or whatever. Then, you know, I assume they'll send the police to that area, or take data and send the person I don't know. But it's just bizarre, right? And again, I have to keep pointing out, no national discussion about this, right? Nobody voted on this. Nobody even presented it. We are just getting hit with it as it rolls out. And there's so many problems with that, because a lot of people's brains aren't even going to be able to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's such a blur between the virtual and reality that the brain is going to struggle to capture what it means now, what society means now, when we have, you know, drones that are enforcing law. We're interacting with machines that look like humans, but they're not humans. We can be anything we want if we're laying in a pod, living virtually through a machine. Do you think we're going to have some problems? Stay tuned, everybody, for your naturally inspired moment. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Gosh, this week I have had some really, really interesting assessments with you all. Your stories inspire me so much, and I'm really grateful that we get to meet and you share them with me. I feel very grateful for that. Samantha from Georgia said this. She said, Tammy helped me understand how my digestion and stress were connected. Within a month, my bloating was gone, my mood lifted, and I feel lighter inside and out. Her weekly workshops keep me motivated and inspired. If you would like to join the Naturally Inspired community and become, part of our community and benefit from my health text line and benefit from our weekly wellness workshops on Tuesday nights, and so much more. My words of encouragement every morning that kind of set your intention, 15% off of products, all these benefits within the Naturally Inspired community. And you get to work with me one-on-one and through my health text line and through 30-minute assessments. That's what we do here. So if that sounds good to you, go over to naturallyinspiredstore.com, book your assessment today. If you have any questions about it, 720-303-8868. All right, let's get on to the Naturally Inspired moment, because this is an important one. I feel like I really had to work on this. Oh boy, I really had to work on this. And I'm still working on it every day, all the time. And it is how to be inspired instead of offended. Okay. So it's easy to take offense. Somebody says something to you, somebody doesn't do something, you have a set of standards and how you want to be treated. And we tend to think that, everybody holds our same standards. If we were raised a certain way, and our moms and dads said, this is the standard. This is the way you're supposed to, treat people. And then you expect everybody else to treat you that way. And you don't understand why. And every time they don't treat you that way, you can choose to be offended, right? You can choose to be offended, or you can choose to be inspired. And I tell you, it's a shift. Right? It's a shift, and you got to work on it, and you got to keep working at it. But once you make it, man, you sure waste a lot less time. A lot less time. So most people live in reaction mode, and a comment, a look, a disagreement, it can become fuel for offense. But people who grow, heal, and actually change their lives, they flip the script. So they use the moment as inspiration instead of offense. They turn it into energy, or power, and not a wound. So here are 5 strategies to shift from being offended to being elevated, inspired. Number 1, reframe the offense. Instead of asking, why would they say that? Ask, why did this land on me? So, the moment will reveal an insecurity, a fear, a belief you've outgrown. And just reframing it turns discomfort into a teacher, not an insult. So I always liken it to this, if somebody says something to you, or, you find yourself feeling offended, you got to really check. Is it true? Does that really apply to you? And who's saying it? If you're feeling offended by it, then perhaps that's something that you view in yourself. And so we have to heal from that, right? We have to heal from that, because it can become an insecurity and a wound that keeps us from doing the things that we really want to do in life. So it's important that we heal those wounds. So reframe it, Most of the time when people offend you, it's got more to do about them than it does about you, right? We've all heard that before, but you really need to apply that because it's so true. It is so true. Number 2, assume positive or neutral intent. So most people really aren't trying to hurt you. Some are, let's be real here. Some are. And those people are deeply wounded, right? Deeply wounded. But most people aren't trying to hurt you. They're projecting their own stress. They're projecting their own trauma, or they're projecting, or they're just simply misunderstanding. When you assume positive intent, you protect your peace. You stay in control and you avoid unnecessary conflict. This is emotional sovereignty. And it's the hallmark, really, of turning offense into inspiration. So, don't assume the worst when someone says something to you that offends you. A good way to respond is like, what question? Question, and maybe even a leading question, what did you mean by that? Is that a compliment? What did you mean by that? What was your intent by that statement? What was your intent behind that statement? That's some vocabulary that you can use, but assume that it's positive. It might have come out, poorly. Certainly I've done that before. Stick my foot in my mouth. I'm like, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way. Right? So give people a little grace. You don't have to choose offense right away. Number 3, extract the wisdom, not the wound. So every uncomfortable moment offers data. What is this teaching me about myself? Is there something I can improve? Is this revealing an area where I am growing? Guess what? If you're not growing, you're dead. If you're not growing, you're dead. So, it's okay. Really, it is okay to admit our shortcomings, where we fall short, what we're working on. People want to give you grace. People want to connect. And so by just speaking it, like this very thing here, making sure I don't take offense to everything, that somebody says cross to me. Man, I've grown so much in this area. I have to give myself some credit, but there's still growth to be done for sure. Comments can, and especially when you do something like what I do, putting this show out there every day, sometimes people make really rude comments. I don't care anymore. I used to, but my purpose is bigger than that. So when your purpose is bigger, when you're growing through something to do better, to create more, to live in alignment with your purpose, who cares if someone doesn't like you? You got a bigger thing you're working on here. And it's important to make sure you keep that in mind. What's my bigger purpose here? Yeah, maybe everybody doesn't like me. I don't need everybody to like me. You just need to connect and build real relationships with enough people to make an impact. So, make sure your offense closes the mind, inspiration opens it. So allow it to open it, right? Is this revealing an area where I'm growing? Allow it to open your mind. Number 4, return to your vision immediately. So people only get deeply offended when they've lost sight of who they're trying, who they're becoming. How I always talk about the transformation process, right? So you'll get offended when you've lost sight of who you're becoming, what you're building, and the mission you're on. Right? That's when you just step aside. You're like, yeah, okay, thank you for your input. Thank you for your input. When vision leads, emotion follows. So ask yourself, how would the future version of me respond right now? And act from that identity. That's been a bit of a theme lately in our naturally inspired moments. But that's because your thoughts and how you think about yourself, that drives you through the transformation process of who you are becoming. Somebody who eats healthier, somebody that moves more, somebody who has healthier relationships, somebody who tends to their spiritual growth, somebody who manages stress effectively, somebody who's a master of their nervous system. You know, those are types of things that we're all working towards. And you've got to grow through that process. So you got to have a vision for who that person is when you've done growth, when you've gone through growth. Who is the person on the other side of those goals? And have a real visual identity and feel who that person is. Number 5, practice emotional transmutation. Offense is energy. So instead of letting it calcify into resentment, energy in your body where you're like, you're just stewing on it. You can kind of feel it in your stomach. You can feel it in your chest. It's all energy, right? We've got to work through that. So shift your breathing, journal, write out what you want to say, get it off your chest, and then throw it away. Take immediate action towards your goal. So get right back to what you're trying to achieve, right? So, I get a bunch of crappy comments. Okay, I'm here showing up tomorrow doing my show. And the next day, and the next day. Because again, the purpose is bigger, right? The purpose is bigger. And every show that I do, I'm trying to get better. And so just get back to the goal. Just get back to the goal, right? Don't let it stick to you. Speak truth over the situation. You know who you are. Nobody else can dictate who you are. They may think, you cannot control people's perception of you. You never will. And so care less. Because it's hopeless. You're never going to control how other people see you. You don't even see yourself in the same way your mom sees you. That's just how it goes. You don't see yourself the same way your husband does, the same way your wife does. We cannot control other people's perception of us. So don't try. Just try to live up to your own expectations of yourself, your own standards of yourself. And, give yourself some grace. So turning emotional energy into progress is the essence of personal mastery. So pray for clarity and strength, speak truth over the situation, but take action. Don't let the offense sit in your chest. Don't let it sit in your gut. Don't just stew on it. Take action. It's kind of like, I just wipe it away. I'm like, okay, yep, thanks for that. Wipe it away. Get back to work. It's the best way to deal with it. You can be offended or you can be inspired, but you can't be both. Offense locks you into the past while inspiration pulls you into your future. So choose the future. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I am so glad you have joined me for the first hour. Stay tuned because your second hour is coming right up. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, Text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. I hope you're having your coffee. I'm having some coffee here. Jason makes the best coffee, so I am enjoying my coffee this morning. I hope you are too. It's a little cold here in northern Colorado, that's for sure. I hope you're staying warm wherever you are. If you missed the first hour, I say go back and listen. Definitely. You got to catch it. We've just been talking about the societal changes, right? The culture changes and the move that is just going so fast towards something that we don't even recognize, right? This kind of living by proxy, right? Living through surrogates. This is just, I don't know. It's not something I could have ever imagined, years and years ago when I was growing up, that people would be living through a filter, living through a surrogate, virtually, an avatar, and not really like living in reality. I think a lot of people are going to struggle mentally with this. And it's reflective in our interactions as well. Dealing with people in customer service, this has been happening for a long time. If you're trying to deal with somebody and they just kind of keep regurgitating the company's statement, they don't really tell you anything. They just keep regurgitating. Yes, I understand. But at this time, we cannot complete this order. You know what I'm talking about? It's like that's the computer answer. It's not the human answer. And we've been dealing with that for a long time. It's almost like the whole thing, culturally has been leading up to this. It just keeps evolving. So it makes you wonder, where's it going after the surrogates? It's like, you just can't even really imagine it. So anyway, through the last few years, if it's been accelerated, but a lot of people, especially people who, they're the woke crowd, I guess you could call them, the ones that are embracing all of the weirdness. They've started to say that, America's terrible. America doesn't have any culture. You don't have any culture. It's just a bunch of immigrants that came together. There is no American culture, right? White people don't have culture. How dare you? All that stuff. And so I'm taking just a few minutes every show to remind you that you absolutely do have culture, and it's very cool. And there's a lot of really beautiful things about American culture. And so today I just wanted to take a minute because we were talking a little bit about architecture and how that reflects how we feel about ourselves, right? We've been talking about the fact that appliances don't last very long, the quality that we're putting into the things that we're building, it's being sacrificed. It's being sacrificed. We no longer, that's not one of a value that we are actually showing up for in today's modern culture in this country. But we really used to. And it reflected the times. And so I find it so interesting. I pulled this little video, and sorry about the AI voice, but I just felt like it did a good job of kind of hitting some of the styles. So for today's American moment, I want to talk a little bit about architecture and where we live, the homes we live in. So take a look at this.
From colonial salt boxes to soaring skyscrapers, American architecture tells a story of innovation. The new nation embraced grand neoclassical forms for its government buildings. The Victorian era saw an explosion of ornate, detailed homes. Then, the 20th century reached for the sky with iconic Art Deco towers, and later embraced the clean lines and open spaces of mid-century modernism. Frank Lloyd Wright's organic designs and the glass and steel giants of today continue to shape a uniquely American landscape, reflecting the country's dynamic history and boundless ambition.
So you can see it, the progression, and back in the early, they call them the colonial boxes there, it was necessity. It really reflects necessity, right? Just a shelter, few windows in it. It's very basic because that's where we were at that time. There wasn't room for lavish detail. But as we progressed, other things came into play, right? Where we started seeing the more ornate Victorian style homes. And then, even later on, the American arts and crafts homes, which the craftsman home, right? You still see so much of those on custom builds nowadays. So there's so many different eras that we went through. The colonial revival, shotgun houses, Cape Cod style houses. These are all American architecture. And some of them are absolutely beautiful. Of course, when you visit places like, San Francisco with brownstones and whatnot, there was so much detail, and it was reflective of, pride in your work, artistry, You know, it was, if you were a builder, you were really an artist. And we've lost some of that. We've lost some of that. And I think maybe we have an opportunity, you know, now that other things are going to be, in terms of jobs, other things are going to be outsourced to machines. Maybe we could actually feel like we have the time and the motivation to recreate some of this stuff and take the time to design and practice artistry in like our architecture, or, you know, even the design of cities. Gosh, I don't know how many times Jason and I go to these, you know, drive-through coffee shops or whatever. And I swear, every time we go through a coffee shop, he's like, who designed this? This is so stupid. You know, you got to drive all the way around and then you try to get back out. It's like, who designed this? It's like it doesn't appear like the human that's going to need the function of things and is going to live in these, you know, these structures every single day of their lives. Like there's much thought being put into them anymore. You know, like the first house we bought was, I've always lived in really old houses because it's just, I like old stuff. It's just, that's what I like. But our first house, you know, it was lath and plaster, and all the corners in the house were rounded. They were all rounded. And so, of course, you know, when I had a toddler, that was nice to have rounded corners. Because, you know, just the little things, the thoughtfulness of a build back then. It was so thoughtful and purposeful. And then we ended up moving into a newer house. Sharp corners, you know, watch a baby's head, watch toddler. Like it's just, you know, you don't appreciate those things if you don't have the experience with them. You know, you don't appreciate them till they're gone. And maybe with a lot of things being outsourced to artificial intelligence and machines and all that stuff, maybe we can get back to some artistry. Because, man, we built some beautiful things, you know, and you don't see them in your neighborhoods anymore. You don't see that kind of beauty in your new subdivision. You know, it's like, how fast can we put these up? They don't last. Like, it's just amazing to me. Some of these newer subdivisions, you know, the paint's good for maybe a year or two and it starts to fade. It's just incredible. And they're paying, you know, top dollar for these homes. And they're just not reflective of care and quality and artistry. And that sets a tone for a society. It's just like schools. Schools started all looking like prisons. Have you noticed that? Like a schoolhouse back in the day was, you know, it would look like a, you know, crafted home. It was just a little bigger, schoolhouses, right? And then somehow it's evolved into a prison. Serious. The high fences and all the steel fencing around it, the checking it, it's very institutionalized. We send our children there. And what are we telling them? They're top security, like you're going to prison every day. And this just looks like it happened as a slow roll, but I definitely know. I know education is going to be redefined, and it's not going to take too long, you know, because it's just fallen apart. It's fallen apart. So, you know, we have opportunities to redesign things. Will we take them? Will we take them? That's the thing, right? If we're distracted and entertained, we won't get the opportunity to redesign some of these things that are so in need of being redesigned. And wouldn't it be nice if they reflected more of what we wanted to see in our culture? It would be so awesome. And, you know, I think we have the opportunity, but again, if we're constantly entertained, get your butt in the seat, watch the show, watch the circus, don't pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes, then we won't get that opportunity. That's why I'm always talking about, working on yourself, right? Working on ourselves, working on how we can enrich our lives. Because when we work on enriching our own lives, that, it's contagious, first of all. It's really contagious when you start working on your life in your group that you are a part of, your community. It's contagious. You start making changes. People want to know, well, you're making changes and this is working for you. And how do, I want to do that. It's very contagious. And so that's the best way to make change and shape culture and take personal responsibility for shaping culture in your own country. Because if you don't, there's a whole group of people waiting to do it. So grab hold of your American culture. Define your values, define your beliefs, and live them every day. That's how we make impact and shape culture the American way. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Stay tuned. Back in a minute.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Somebody texted me on my health text line today about the cellular reset. She's been on it now for about 2 weeks, and she hasn't really changed a whole lot, admittedly. I love it because most people in my community are honest with me, and I really appreciate that. There's a lot of people like, oh, yes, I changed my diet. I've done everything right, but some people are very honest, and I appreciate that. But anyways, we're getting there. She's making changes. But she has been on the cellular reset for a little while now. And she reported on my health text line today. She's like, I definitely know the supplements are working. I definitely know the cellular reset is making a difference for me. I have more energy. I'm not as stiff. I feel better. And she's excited because she hasn't even changed her diet yet. And that's not with everybody, but this is a pretty powerful product. So if you haven't looked into the cellular reset yet, you've got to go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and check it out. It's our protocol, part of our protocol for inflammation, and you can connect to it there. So what is it? It's polyphenols, it's resveratrol, and it's a powerful antioxidant. So check it out today at the Naturally Inspired store. Okay, so I've covered this guy before. His name is David Sinclair. He is like a longevity researcher, okay, not a doctor, but a scientist who has a lab, and he's developing essentially products for longevity. And he's really into studying, aging and how we can prevent aging. So I came across this podcast. I don't normally watch this podcast or anything. I just came across a clip, and then I ended up doing research and getting into it a little bit more. And I found some real gems in here that I want to share with you today. So this is Ed Milet's podcast, and this is David Sinclair, and talking to you about what you can do to prevent aging. Take a listen.
Things my cardiologist was concerned about was inflammation in my body. And so I was prescribed metformin in an effort to reduce inflammation in my body. And I'm wondering all of your thoughts on metformin, because it's at the it's part of the book, and it's also part of a lot of the conversation about anti-aging, glucose regulation, and those kind of things.
Yeah, so the thing with metformin that everyone needs to know, and will know if they get the book, is that there are 3 main ways to slow down aging, 3 genetic pathways. I work on one pathway called the sirtuins, which we can talk about later, but they're a crux of defending against aging. There are 2 others. One responds to how much protein you eat, and the third one responds to how much energy, chemical energy is in your body. That's metformin.
Okay.
So metformin will trick your body into thinking there's not enough energy, and it'll respond and actually make your body, we think, fight against aging, and particularly type 2 diabetes. So metformin is a drug that came out from the French lilac. It's originally a natural molecule, but it was tweaked a bit, so it's now a drug.
Oh, it was tweaked a little bit. I would just say, okay, so the reason why I picked this clip is because these guys are the top researchers, right? There are billions and billions being pumped into them. And of course, they're all about pharmaceuticals. They're all about products because they got to patent them, right? They need to be patented and make money off them, right? Guess what, though? The interesting part about this, what I found was like, oh my gosh, they're talking about metabolic health. So here's Ed Mylett. He's a business guy, success guy, big rah type of guy. And he's like wanting to know about health because he's getting older, right? Himself, he's getting older. So they're diving, a lot of these business people and success people are diving into health. And it's great because they're just echoing what I'm saying. They're echoing what all the real research is saying, which is you can control your outcomes with your metabolic health. And guess what? You don't need metformin. You need mate. You need to get refined carbohydrates out of your diet. You need to reduce sugar, get rid of sugar, right? You create the same effect here. Okay? The same effect. But these guys, they want to sell pills. They want to believe in science and sell pills. So that's what he's talking about, though, here is regulating blood glucose. And it's really interesting because Ed Mylett says, that he had gone to his cardiologist and he got this metformin because his doctor was concerned about his heart health. Well, does heart health control, does metformin control plaque, hardening of or does it control sugar? Right? So we've been blaming fat for heart issues. We've been blaming things like red meat for heart issues. So why are you prescribing a sugar drug, a glucose drug? They know, right? It's not plaque. It's sticky. It's sticky blood. It's sugar. It's not the fat. It's the sugar. Okay. So that's why I thought that was so interesting because everybody's starting to recognize that now. Everybody, we're going to get a new food pyramid. We were talking about that a little bit last night on our weekly wellness workshop. So things are changing. Things are changing. This is how we curate better health, right? We get all the ultra processed foods, the refined carbohydrates out of our daily lifestyle. Okay. I want to share another clip with you because I've said this before. Resveratrol is powerful and those antioxidants. This is why I'm always talking about the cellular reset. It isn't because I'm just trying to hawk a product here. Listen, I want better results for people. When you connect to real solutions for health, you are not going back to that predatory model. And what happens to that predatory model when you're not a customer of it anymore? Which is the point, right? We're trying to change the medical model. So listen what these billionaires who are studying science, listen to what you're talking about.
Go on resveratrol, if you would.
So resveratrol is this molecule in red wine that is thought to protect the French from high-fat foods. Yeah. And we discovered that it activates an enzyme in the body called SIRT1. one of these sirtuin protective enzymes that's activated by hunger and exercise.
Okay.
So resveratrol we discovered as the first molecule that could mimic a calorically restricted diet and exercise. This wasn't an excuse to just sit on the couch and pop a pill, because we actually found that if mice took resveratrol and exercised and ate a healthy diet, they lived the longest.
Okay.
So it's a combination, but you want to keep these enzymes active, because as we get older, these defensive enzymes like SIRT1, they go down in their activity.
Okay.
So there are two ways to keep SIRT1 super active.
Okay.
Besides living the healthy lifestyle that many of us know about and is in my book, page 302, 303.
Unbelievable.
Jump to the, because some people, they just want the facts. Just want the list.
Right.
But resveratrol is a remarkable molecule because plants make it to survive, because plants have sirtuin longevity enzymes as well.
Okay.
But when we ingest that, we get the benefits. Right?
Okay.
So you said I was not as hot on that.
Yeah.
What happened was...
Yeah, okay, I was right.
What happened was, all of us who have been blessed to be successful in what we do have gone through really hard times. And I had my moment, the worst time of my life, in 2010. So I'd spent the
What
last...
was it? Do you mind saying what it was?
Yeah, sure. So I had discovered resveratrol activates anti-aging pathways. We'd shown that it extended lifespan in everything from a yeast cell to a worm to a fly to a mouse, protected them against a Western diet, and even extended their lifespan when we gave it to them every other day.
Okay.
That was great. We developed drugs that were showing efficacy, working in humans to treat a disease called psoriasis, which is inflammation on the skin. Everything was looking like we were going to be the first people to make a drug that treats aging on the market.
Okay.
And then a couple of companies, for reasons that we can only speculate, came out with their science and said, it's all wrong. Everything David said is wrong.
I remember that.
It blew up.
Yep, I remember that.
It trashed the trials, and I was the pariah of the scientific world.
Sabotage, right? So this proves a couple of points here. I just had to share it with you. First of all, resveratrol is very, very impactful on inflammation and your overall health. And it's a wonderful thing to add to your daily routine. But the way he explains this, right? So somebody did not want him to patent a drug from resveratrol. And so they took him out. And you guys, this happens all the time. It happens all the time. So, he was trying to make some pharmaceutical version of resveratrol. Well, guess what? It's just plants, right? And everybody's always trying to synthesize because that's where the money is. You have to change it. You have to, put it behind a paywall of pharmaceuticals. Then you can get into the system. The system being the health care and the Medicaid and the Medicare, where it's just, subsidized gravy train of money. And one company or another didn't want this guy to get the rights to a drug that was a synthesized version of resveratrol because it was that impactful. How many advancements in health have we missed out on because of the mafia that goes on behind every infrastructure? Sometimes I just wonder that, it's like, what have we missed out on? What have we missed out on? Do you think there's a cure for cancer? I don't know. But makes you wonder, doesn't it? Do we understand why cancer happens? Oh, I think we do. I think we do. It's metabolic dysfunction over long periods of time, inflammation, fear, stress, high cortisol, fight or flight chronically, right? Grief. Emotions have a part in it, absolutely. And none of that stuff gets addressed in the allopathic model. But treating the big C, I hate to even say it, This video will probably get taken down. It's billions and billions of dollars. Makes me sad. Anyway, stay tuned. I got more news stories for you. Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. This guy, this David Sinclair guy, I'm going to tell you, like, he is so compartmentalized, so compartmentalized. And I find that when I listen to a lot of these guys lecture about AI and their biotech and transhumanism and stuff, it's just like they're so compartmentalized. They're so focused on the developments of AI, what they're going to be able to do with it. It's so like they're very obsessed. They're very obsessed with it. And I guess you have to be, because it's all a race, right? Who's going to develop the thing next? And just like he just described there, like they'll take you out, to take you out of the race. One way or another, they'll take you out because it's all about control and money and power, all the stuff, right? And shaping the society and controlling the way society gets shaped. If there is something natural on the market, we know they're going to possibly even ban what that is. And they're going to choose the thing that's been patented and that they've already got their support behind. This is not me speculating. We went through this already with COVID, right? No natural anything was permitted to be spoken about during COVID because they had all their support behind the drugs. They had all their support, their plan behind resveratrol, ventilators, and ultimately the mRNA technology. That's the route was chosen, pre-planned, right? Because it's obvious because there was no real-time triage line set up for doctors to report to, so that when they were using, high dose of vitamin C, vitamin D, when they were using melatonin, when they were using all of these things that were working, ivermectin, all that other stuff, HCQ, no, squash. We got to squash that. It was completely squashed. So you can't tell me that they're not doing that. They are doing it. They're doing it over and over and over again. And this one's no different. So, for the people that still think, supplementation is just expensive urine, like you've been conditioned to think that. There's a reason why you say it the way you say it. It's just expensive urine. That was the mantra, man. You fell prey to the brainwash. Because your body needs vitamins and minerals to function. You have receptors for them. And we know that things like resveratrol, grape muscadine, these are very powerful polyphenols that plants use to save their own lives, to extend their own lives. And it works in us. Now, getting to the weirdness around, I mean, you know, the more weird aspect of this guy's work, David Sinclair, he's actually growing, they're able to grow, body parts in petri dishes from skin cells and beyond. And again, you know, this part of the innovation is like, I think we just need to have a discussion about it, right? Like if we're growing body parts, I mean, I get the excitement about it. I get, you know, being, you know, helping the blind see, you know, and this is the way it's going to be pitched to us. But this is not where it will stop. Listen to this.
Dish and people who work on all sorts of futuristic stuff, growing brains in a dish. George Church is one of my good friends and colleagues. My lab's just on the different floor than his in the same building. So he's one of the guys that, women as well, there were a team of people that showed that you could actually edit the human genome.
This is huge.
So we can now read the genome, you know, instead of $1 billion to read your genome, I can do it in my lab for a device that big.
Right now.
For $100.
Right.
I can do that today.
Yes.
And soon it'll be in a few hours for less than the cost of a needle.
Crazy.
That's the crazy stuff. But it gets even crazier when we can actually change the genome. We don't just read it, we write it. Right. And we can change genes, we can put new genes in very easily. There are drugs on the market. Most people may not realize that we can now, the FDA approved drugs, we are changing people's genetic diseases. We're curing genetic diseases. Yes. We are living in the future, man.
It's crazy.
But the future for us is going to be even crazier because we are just on the cusp of hundreds of companies working on CRISPR and gene therapy. And this is the hottest thing in biotech right now.
I mean, imagine everybody, the ability to interrupt the fact that you have a predisposition to heart disease or a form of cancer and interrupt that. How about this? Maybe this is nuts. Could we potentially interrupt somebody's and make them smarter? Could you change someone's intelligence through altering their genome? Could you do that?
Well, theoretically, there's a lot of genes involved in intelligence, and the brain has to be wired from an early age.
Okay.
But we know that drugs are capable of making you more intelligent, or at least give you more creativity. So we could do that, theoretically. But one of the things I'm excited about is being able to alter our bodies in ways that make us resistant to certain diseases.
Okay.
Heart disease, HIV. Now, we can get to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are 2 kids on this planet that were genetically modified to be resistant to HIV. That's craziness. Now, crazy to think about. Now, there's a whole debate. We in the world should start debating whether we want to not just help ourselves, but do we want to make our kids resistant to heart disease, to cancer.
It's fascinating stuff, you know, but I can't help but where my brain goes when I hear things like this, you know. Who created HIV? You know, who created COVID? Who created Lyme's disease? You know, and now we have these great innovations, right? Great technology. It's going to solve all the problems. And, you know, the thing is that it's more important now than ever that people really understand that your genes, they have a part in the expression of your health. You know, they have a part in it, but they don't have the whole part. So just changing your genes is not going to ensure that you are not going to get X disease. Because lifestyle, people don't understand this. Like most disease, we've been conditioned to think, oh, you know, there's nothing you can do. Well, yeah, if you're conditioned to think that there's nothing you can do, well, then you are at the mercy of the people who make the drugs and bring you the solutions, aren't you? But when you understand that your genes aren't the end all and be all of the expression of health in your body, you know that there's a lot you can do about it. You can change the way you eat. You can change your environment. You know, you can feed your body in the right way. Feed it light. Feed it polyphenols. You can lower sugar. You can manage stress. You can move your body. You can build like there's so many things that you can do through lifestyle. And no, there is no guarantee. But there is also no guarantee in this technology. And can you imagine? We were all being told, just like crazy, like 4 years ago, we were all being yelled at and told gene therapy, it's a vaccine. There's no such, what gene therapy? Oh, don't be ridiculous. This is a vaccine. And now, here we are. We're going to have so many gene therapies. You're going to be able to change your eye color if you want to. Designer gene therapy is where it's going. And again, no conversation about this, right? It's going to be sold in a way where it's going to be all about curing disease and helping the sick and, curing all these things. And these stories will be up on the front of the stage, right? Like, look at this. This is so fantastic. Everybody's excited. And if you say anything about it, anything negative about it, you're going to be like, shut up. But do we know the consequences of altering somebody's genome? Because the mRNA stuff, it ain't working out so good for a lot of people. We have turbo cancer. We have several researchers and doctors now who have published papers about the correlation between the COVID injections and turbo cancer. We now know that, covered I think yesterday, that it actually integrates into your DNA, right? We don't know what that means for offspring yet. There's a lot of unknowns with this technology. And yet these billionaires who are funding, the race to cure death, essentially, and they're all excited about it. It's like, yeah, it is exciting to think of being able to help the blind to see and all of that stuff, regenerative medicine with spinal cord things, super exciting. I get it. But I feel like they're overpromising, and that I don't know how I feel about messing with God's design. It hasn't really turned out that well in the agriculture world, with the whole GMO seed, modifying seed and trying to grow against the rules of nature. Hasn't worked out that good. And so it's just interesting, to say the least. I also wanted to let you know that gyms, as in fitness gyms and whatnot, they're going to be coming to your local airport. Yes. So this is the HHS secretary has announced today, with a couple of other health influencer type people, that they're going to start putting in things like pull-up bars in airports. They're going to start strategically placing things like treadmills and, equipment where you can actually move your body during a layover. Gosh, I remember, I think it was one airport that actually had access to a treadmill. One airport, I think, that I've been to had that. And I remember thinking, oh, this is what we need to do. But more play, more movement, that's the answer. Stay tuned. I've got your health topic up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people, to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Already getting a text about the cellular reset. Just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Our hero products called Vivix. It is available for you at naturallyinspiredstore.com. A couple things I wanted to point out about the gyms and airports, okay? We have to kind of shift our thinking when it comes to working out. Listen, your body doesn't know if you're in your fitness gear with your running shoes on and in the gym, right? It doesn't know if you're there or if you're just like doing a few pull-ups at the airport, you know, or you're doing a few squats. And I think that this is a great shift, a mind shift to make. Like, hey, you don't have to set aside 2 hours to work out. You can just move your body periodically throughout the day. The body doesn't care, you know? And so just thinking of that, you know, like, because I think that prevents people from moving a lot. They're like, well, I'm not working. I don't have time to work out or whatever. Like, hey, you got time to do 10 squats. You got time to do, 5 pull-ups. And so I love this idea of like sprinkling in movement in a more, thoughtful way, where it doesn't have to be this like membership and, I've got, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's just more fun, more play, more, pop into to movement. Just do it. You don't have to wait for the right circumstances. Also, I wanted to mention that the doctor's oath. So, this Hippocratic oath that the doctors take, it may be getting some revision. And they're talking about, changing it because it's because of modern times. And people argue the original Hippocratic oath represents timeless medical ethics, but that things have changed dramatically with technology, genomics, AI, so ethical commitments must evolve. And the debate centers on how much you can change the oath before it stops feeling like medicine's foundation. That, like the fact that this is being talked about, the oath is being changed, I think is just another telltale sign that we're headed towards more machine medicine, automated AI medicine. And they're going to want to remove the do no harm language. Updated oaths have been rephrased already. First, do no harm. And supporters say it needs clarification in modern medicine, where every treatment carries risk. Opponents say removing or softening it could erode trust in medical restraint and safety. So there's all these issues, but the point is they are debating this, the medical oath. And I think it's going to have to do with genetic editing and the responsibility of AI, data privacy, all of these it's a new world. It truly is. All right, let's get to your health topic because it's an important one. I want to talk about enzymes today. It sparked me because in that clip, he was talking about enzymes. So what enzymes do in the body and how declining enzymes actually accelerate aging. So number one, enzymes are the body's biological workers. Enzymes are protein molecules that act as catalysts, meaning they make every chemical reaction in the body faster, more efficient, and without enzymes, nothing in the body would function at a normal speed. So they regulate digestion, hormone production, detoxification, cellular repair, immune response, energy production, ATP, protein, fat, and carbohydrate metabolism, breaking down old tissue and building new tissue. Enzymes, I guess, are the spark plugs of your engine, if you will. Number 2, enzymes are required for digestion and nutrient absorption. So digestive enzymes break down proteins, amino acids, fats, fatty acids, carbs to glucose. When enzyme production declines, we tend to see bloating, gas, undigested food, nutrient deficiencies, and a slower metabolism. So these digestive issues spill over into systemic aging because cells no longer receive the nutrients they need efficiently. Number 3, enzymes run cellular repair, and aging accelerates when they decline. So metabolic and repair enzymes fix damaged DNA, they remove cellular waste, and they support autophagy, which is the cell cleanup. As enzyme levels drop with age, damage starts to accumulate. Inflammation increases, detox slows, collagen breaks down faster, and the mitochondria efficiency drops, and then immune system weaks. Congestion occurs in the body. And this is why enzyme decline is linked to wrinkles. It's linked to slower wound healing. It's linked to brain fog, joint stiffness, digestive troubles, chronic disease, fibrosis. And when repair enzymes decrease, aging accelerates. So number 4, after about age 27 to 30, natural enzyme production starts falling. So this is a biological reality. Your pancreas, stomach, and small intestine produce fewer enzymes as you age. So that means it's harder to digest dense protein. It's less efficient at fat breakdown. It has fewer amino acids available for collagen, muscles, and hormones. Increased oxidative stress, increased inflammation, and lower metabolic rate. So enzyme decline is one of the earliest contributors to biological aging. So you can take enzymes, right? You can take enzymes. And if you're on a great probiotic with a prebiotic, that will help as well. Enzymes specifically taken before you eat are very, very helpful. They help your body break down your foods. Of course, they're available. We have them with our partnered product line, and you can connect to those at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Raw food enzymes drop when we shift to more processed foods. So raw foods come with their own enzymes, and cooking destroys raw enzymes. So modern processed diet means the body must make all the enzymes itself, which exhausts the pancreas over time. And this is why cultures with higher raw food intake have better digestion and healthier aging markers. Fewer enzymes equals slower detox and faster aging. So liver enzymes such as cytochrome P450 and glutathione-related enzymes detoxify. So they help you detoxify the toxins, hormone byproducts, medication residues, environmental chemicals. Lower enzyme activity equals toxic buildup, right? So congestion in the body. It's just like all disease comes from congestion in the body. So this contributes to things like fatigue, hormonal imbalance, faster skin aging, brain inflammation, blood sugar dysregulation. So supplemental enzymes support healthy aging, and it's a wonderful thing to add to your regime, and they're inexpensive. They're very inexpensive. So, it's a great thing to add. I think we have a 2-pack that work fantastic. We have them here at our house. So better nutrient absorption, it reduces digestive stress, lower inflammation markers, improved protein breakdown, and it helps you build collagen as well. Faster recovery and repair, reduced oxidative stress, improved immune function, so many different things. They help spare the body's own enzyme reserves, which is a longevity principle. And that is precisely what David Sinclair was talking about. It's really like, your body's like an engine, right? Even it's like the more gunk that builds up in the body, the slower the body can convert the food you're putting into it into energy. So, it's really just about cleaning up the congestion. What causes congestion, right? We know ultra-processed foods, oxidative stress. You can't control everything, obviously. You can't. We have to breathe air, and we have virtually no clue what's in our air these days. I have a lot of plants in my house. I think that's a great approach because bringing nature inside, how can you go wrong with that? So clean your air with plants, and if you can filter your air inside your house, that's a wonderful idea too. But, you're never going to be able to eliminate all your toxic burden. So give your body the best chance that you can in being able to absorb nutrition. Right? So enzymes are a wonderful way to do that. They're a low investment for a big return. And then, clean up the diet, right? You've got to get rid of the ultra processed foods. You've got to, support your detox pathways. So, moving is a big part of supporting your detox pathways. Just making sure that your body can work through some of the gunk. I don't want you to be afraid of all of the things, afraid of this. We're afraid of that. Listen, your body is incredible. Like, I'm amazed. If you heard some of the stories that I hear about what people have been through, and yet their body still shows up for them every day, you would never question the strength of your own body ever again. Hundreds and hundreds of stories that I've heard from people, whether they've been injured, whether they have been poisoned, whether they have come out of a life of addiction, the amount of abuse that these human bodies will tolerate on behalf of you is mind-blowing. It's so impressive. It is so impressive. And, if you're not in the health field and you're not, hearing and exposed to all of the things that people go through all the time, maybe, the awareness isn't quite there. And that can bring in a lot of fear, right? Like, we're frail and we're fragile and we have to, give in to this procedure or that prescription. And that's the only way that, we can feel better. When in reality, that's just covering it up. It's covering it up and it's creating more congestion in the body. Hopefully in the new model of medicine that, I talk about here every day, in the new model, when we get enough people to understand how health actually, is curated. In the new model, we will demand root cause. We will demand to understand root cause. And when we start from that foundation of understanding root cause, then we can walk dis-ease back in the body. But if we don't even seek to understand root cause, and we continue to put up with this fake model of medicine, which is silencing symptoms, it's not curating health. It's got to be where we start. Root cause, enzymes, big part of your health, making sure your motor's running clean. You've been listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. I am so glad you joined me today. I hope you have a fantastic one, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, Dive into long-form podcast conversations and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.